Good morning, Congress delegates. And on behalf of the 15th Executive Council, as mandated by the Constitution, the Council should hold an extraordinary Congress for the nomination of the Advisory Board of the Association. And today, as mandated, we are here to do that, and we welcome you to the Extraordinary Congress for the same purpose. With me here is the President and also the Vice President. And as mandated by the Constitution, the President would be the chairperson of all the association's meetings, and also he will be leading the proceedings. But he is also mandated to delegate that to his vice. And today we would have some of his responsibilities taken over by the vice president, where later he will also step in. So we will start by first calling God into our midst. We will have a prayer, and we will have an individual prayer. Then from there we get into the agenda proper. So we can please pray in our own ways before we get into the other agendas as usual. So thank you so much. We can pray in our ways. Amen. May Allah answer our prayers. And now we will move to the first item, because we do not intend to have a very long discussion here. It is a Congress that is purposely meant to give the Congress delegates the opportunity to nominate advisory board members. And as per the Constitution, the Vice President would take us through some of the criteria and some of the proceedings that are the protocols that are put into the Constitution regarding the nomination of the advisory board at the Extraordinary Congress. So I will welcome the Vice President to give the opening remarks, and later we will get into the subsequent agenda as indicated in the shared agenda.
Distinguished members of the School of Education, EDUSA, good morning to you all. It is an honor and also a responsibility as your Vice President to sit before you here concerning about the Extraordinary Congress, which we know that is something which is very important, where we nominate our advisory boards. And these advisory boards, as per the Constitution, Section 25, they are people who must serve in a council. Okay, to be precise, they must be council members. This Congress, as specified in our constitutional guidelines, has been summoned following the urgency to nominate these advisory boards, as I said. We are here today because of our collective duty, because we know that this is a duty for us as EDUSANs. For a progressive association, we must choose people who will be steering our affairs in our absence. As stipulated in Section 35, our constitution mandate that we respond to such requisition with urgency and intentionality. And whatever decision we are going to make here, it must be a decision which is for the betterment of EDUSA, which is for the betterment of the whole EDUSANs. So I would urge all of us in choosing these advisory boards. As I said, these advisory boards have to be someone who served in the previous councils. And the advisory boards, and when we are talking here about a council, these are ministers, presidents, vice, and also the SGs, whether it was in the 14th Executive Council, or the 13th Executive Council, or the 12th Executive Councils. And how are you going to nominate them? You have someone in mind who have already got these criteria. You raise your hand as a Congress delegate, bring the motion, and someone has to second it, and the person you chose to be part of the advisory board has to accept. Either the person is here or probably in absentia. The president will take that duty or responsibility to call that person to seek their consent whether they accept it or do not accept. Upon that, now the advisory board, when they all accept it, they work as a team in trying to see how best they can also contribute their quota towards the development of EDUSA. And just to remind you, this year's advisory board, we might the human resources might not be enough because of this is something which is a challenging moment for us. And the people, the maximum people whom we should have in the advisory board is 7. But unfortunately, this year's it might be that we might not able to have the required number. But as a council also, and also when this advisory board is considered with the help of the LC, we might able to see what are the remedies in which we should able to do to make sure that this is something which we can able to remedize. So therefore, I thank you all, and on behalf of the council, we apologize for this long waiting. I know that it was not something which is easy. Some of us are having other engagement to do outside, but due to certain reasons which we couldn't control, that's why we were not able to start at 10 o'clock. Instead, we started by 11. So once again, thank you all for gracing this event. Thank you. Yeah. So now the most important thing, we are here to open it up. Each delegate can nominate a person, one person, and that person, the delegate here, someone has to second it, and upon seconded it, the person present here, we will seek to his or her consent if he or she will accept. If they accept, we just proceed with it. But if the person is in absent here, the president will take the responsibility to call the person to know whether they accepted the nomination or they do not accept the nomination. So it's open, the floor is open, so we may go to the normal procedures. Thank you.
I rise to nominate Sajo Jasi as an advisory board member.
I, Member M40, seconded the nomination of Sajo Jasi as advisory board member.
Currently at the extraordinary congress concerning about nominating members for the advisory board. You were nominated by one of the congress delegates by Elder Siga and seconded by member Fati. So we call you to seek for your consent whether you have accepted it or not. You, you have accepted it wholeheartedly. Thank you. So we move to the nomination of another advisory board member. The floor is open.
I am Lamin M. Cham, and I rise to nominate Anamanga.
My name is Banage, and I second the motion of Anna Manga.
Members of the High Table and Congress delegates, I go by the name Anna Manga, a former council member. I accept the nomination wholeheartedly to serve EDUSANS to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Clarification in his opening remarks that the advisory board members has to be people that have served in the council, once served in the council. It doesn't matter in which of the councils, but they also have to be people or members that have at least 2 semesters. That is 1 academic year. So those that are in their final semester by next semester would not be qualified to be in the advisory board. And those that have collected their attestation or has graduated would not also be qualified to be in the advisory board. So one criteria is you have to be a member of a previous council. Another thing is you need to have at least 2 semesters. So for you to be qualified to be in the advisory board. So delegates, whosoever you are to nominate, the person has to meet these criteria, that the individual has to serve in one of the councils, either a minister or a deputy minister. And also, he or she has to have at least 2 academic semesters. So people that are in their 4th year, 2nd semester will not be able to be nominated. Yes.
I just rise to make a clarification to conference delegates. If you look at the previous council, like he earlier alluded, we are scarce of human resource. We might not have the number 7. Yes, and coming to one of the rule he's saying in the constitution, you must able to have 2 semesters. But it's unfortunate that we are left with only 5 members. So, and that 5 members, it's only I who can have 2 semesters. The other 4 have only a semester. That is the semester coming. But then they can be in the constitution. In the advisory board. After serving that semester, then they can resign. So maybe before they finish that semester, you guys can see how best to work and remedy the situation before that semester elapses. Thank you.
And for the executive, those that are also in their 4th year, 4th semester, this is counted as their 4th semester. Then the next semester is counted as their 2nd semester. So this is why those that are in their 4th year, 4th semester, for this semester is counted as their 4th semester. The next semester will be counted as their 2nd semester. So yes, so we can have 5 now, but we will be short with 2 because all the other members is either they are in their final semester this semester or they have graduated. So meaning we can only have 5, and according to the constitution, the advisory board shall comprise of 7 members. So shall comprise of 7 members here. If you look at the interpretations of the constitution, shall it's a very strong clause. So meaning, if we cannot have 7, we cannot go. If we cannot have 7, we cannot go beyond 7. So meaning we can still have 5, but still we will be short when it comes to the mandate of the constitution. That is, we will be short with 2 members. And this is a Congress, and all we can do is to put to you what is in the Constitution. And I have sought advice from the current Legislative Council regarding this matter, and I think it would be important to share with the delegates here as to what they have advised. That we wanted to bring the issue at Congress here to see if there can be some that can be co-opted, but that too, according to them, would be in violation of the Constitution, because the Constitution has put it categorically clear that there should be an advisory board whose members should be ex-members of the council. So bringing in people that are ex-members of the council, that are not ex-members of a council, would also be in contravention with the Constitution. So the maximum we can have here is 5 members until maybe the Legislative Council do something about the Constitution.
So what I want to ask, if the number is less than 7, you know, it says some have said. If the number is less than 7, can they switch from a pool? Let's say the 5 members.
Well, at the level of the council, it is not the responsibility of the council to interpret the constitution, but I think this can be forwarded to the advisory. There is no advisory board as we are speaking, but it can be forwarded to the legislative council, because according to the same constitution, the interpretations of the laws of the School of Education is the mandate of the advisory board and the legislative council. So we only act on provisions of the constitution. So it is based on what they interpret to us is what we act upon, because it wouldn't be constitutionally wise for the executive to be interpreting the laws. That would sound as if the executive would interpret them in a way that favors them. So this is why I think the constitution made it categorically clear that it is the advisory board and the LC, which are independent bodies of the council, to interpret the laws to the council. So once they interpret it, we will act according to the way they interpret it. But this is Congress, and I think even the LC is is under the Congress, because the LC is nominated or appointed by the advisory board, which is nominated by the Congress. So the advisory board is acting on the powers vested on them by the Congress to nominate the LC. And the LC is independent with the advisory board, but the executive, the Congress oversees everything. So that is the current situation here. We would only have 5 if we are going to follow the provisions of the Constitution, because the Constitution put it clear that they should be members of an ex-council, and they should at least have 2 semesters. So that is what is in the Constitution.
I think here the cell is very clear, a maximum of 7, but it does not dwell on the minimum. So if we are not able to get the 7, which is the maximum, but we are able to get a 5, I think we should not waste much time on that, but rather to follow the provisions of the Constitution. Yes, because if we want to do anything otherwise, we will go out of the Constitution here. Thank you.
Are 5 in number, and some of them might complete their studies next semester, per se. And in the event that some of them complete their studies next semester, what do we do? Are we going to select other acting members, or what do we do? Because still there will be a problem. I foresee that there will still be a problem. So for now, I want us to consider that before we finalize anything here. Because if you consider those to be nominated as ex-members, and then you count this semester, they haven't served this semester. This semester is already done and dusted. So you obviously start counting from next semester. And the upper semester, they might not be there. So what do we do?
My name is Ibrahim FM Sane. I just want to shed light on this debate. I don't think whether you should be debating much on this soil, because the language is very, very clear, and this August gathering cannot do anything about it. So the best thing that we could do, we have already elected an executive, and they have an LG, the Legislative Council as well. Let them go back to their office, put everything that needs to be adjusted, because this is made by people. You made the laws, and it is not something that it is the Quran or the Bible at this juncture, because the Quran is not changeable. Some wordings in the Bible you cannot change it. But this is a constitution, and it is meant to serve EDUSA. So anything that is not serving EDUSA is not meant for EDUSA. So if you see to it that you are having 5 and you need 7, who made the constitution? It is you. Go back and do anything that needs to be adjusted, so that you have your SAL is SAL. You should have 7. They are not expecting you to have 5. So that provision to have extra 2 lies in your hand. So the onus is on you. Anyhow you handle it, it will be taken up that way. So it should not be a burden that we should be debating on. Select the 5, the other 2 remaining 1, you go on and discuss with the LG what needs to be done to have the 5 already executed. In the event that somebody decided to, you may be nominated today, tomorrow you resign. What do we do? Again, you need to do something about it. So somebody could not even, you are in your second year whatsoever, and anything can come up along the line. The person may desire to resign. If the person resigns, what do you need to do? It's all in your hand as executive. Please take up the challenge and we move on. Thank you.
It will be very important also to give you a hint about the executive or the past executive members who, in any way, they will not meet the criteria here. Past year, they have already finished their semester, or this is their last semester. Just to name a few, we have the president Musa, the then president Musaba, and we have Breso. I believe this is his last semester. We also have who was the finance? Amadou Eba. Okay. We also have the IPRO. He's not qualified. The education, no, he's here, but the deputy IPRO moved C. He's not qualified. We also moved to the culture and welfare. Both Binta Sow and also Mbasi Sane Mane are not qualified. We deputy finance Amin Yang is not qualified. We also have gender and health. Elizabeth, no, I believe she's qualified. Okay, Elizabeth is qualified. We move to the sport. Suleiman Baji, he's qualified. Peter Jata, he's qualified. Peter A. Jata, he's qualified. The then auditor. Yeah, the logistic, Sayo Jazi, he has already accepted. So these are the people who are qualified, and the other people are the one who are not qualified. So just to avoid contradicting ourselves or repeating the same thing, this is just to give you a hint about those who are qualified and those who are not qualified. Good. So we move on. So far, we have two people who are already nominated, and they already accepted it. First was Sayo Jasi, who was nominated by EDUSA and being seconded by Mbemba Fati. The second nominated person was Anna Manga, who is nominated by Lamin M. Cham and also seconded by Banna Jaju. So the floor is open. We might proceed to the others. Thank you. We move again. Do we have any other person who wish to nominate an advisory board member?
Good morning, the High Table and the members of the delegates. I am Samba Kamara. I rise to nominate Suleiman Baji.
Yes. I am Eldo Esiga. I second the motion for the nomination of Suleiman Baji.
We are currently at the Extraordinary Congress, and you were nominated by one of the Congress delegate, and Samba Kamara, and seconded by Mr. Eldo Esiga. So we deem it necessary to call you to seek for your consent whether you have accepted it or not. You accepted it. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Mustafa Huma, and I rise to nominate Peter Jata as member of the advisory board.
Peter's nomination. Mbemba Fati.
Hello. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jata. This is Sega. Yeah, thank you. We are currently at the Extraordinary Congress, where we are to nominate the advisory boards for the year of 2024 and also 2025. You were nominated by Mustafa Huma and been seconded by Mbemba Fati. So we deem it necessary to call you to seek for your consent whether you have accepted it or not. You will have loved, but you are engaged. Okay, meaning you cannot be part of the advisory board. All right, thank you. That's well noted. Meaning so far we have four, am I right? Three. Anamanga, Sayo Jasi, Suleiman Baji, Elizabeth Pending, Fudi Pending, and Peter Decline. Yeah.
These are the only people that can.
I am Mam Jara Ba. I rise up to nominate for the CISE. Yes, for the CISE. CIS, once a serving council member in the 12th Executive Council as a deputy to the Welfare Ministry. She is back in the UTG. She deferred and now she is back. Yeah.
Several executive meetings to inquire whereabouts because we wanted to remove her. But subsequently, she did not come, and then we did not consider her as a serving executive member. I think even herself, if you contact her, if she's honest to herself, she will tell you that, or even Mukamane himself. So I cannot remember the council giving her a certificate as a deputy because she was not an active executive member from what I remember on the top of my head.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Congress delegates, I hope you have heard from the President.
Yeah. So that is it.
He said
can
no.
also make
Is he made it very clear here. Hello?
I
Yes.
mean, in case if you want further clarification, you can make reference to the executive meeting attendance.
Okay.
That could be even the Malmo stand. So usually whenever we have the executive meeting, attendance were registered. So Cody, I cannot even remember her face, honestly speaking, because she just briefly.
Can you hear Congress delegates?
I cannot honestly speaking. Yeah.
So, Congress delegates, if you have any correction, you can ask the former president. He is here. Do you certify 4D as a council member of your?
I cannot remember certifying Cody. Not certainly not as a deputy because he did not serve that role effectively. So as a member or committee member, I cannot also remember unless the record proves otherwise. But if there are also she can bring forward her certificate, certainly I will remember if I append my signature on any certificate. But I cannot remember on the top of my head certifying her, certainly not as a deputy, and for as a committee, if he claims that he was, then he can bring forward the certificate and I can confirm if I had ever sent my signature, because I can always remember my signature.
Thank you. Any other question from the Congress delegates? Was she a deputy? Was she a deputy? Someone is asking if she was a deputy.
This is what I said. Initially, when we came, Musamani identified her or nominated her as a deputy, and she was subsequently endorsed by the EC. But shortly after that, she disappeared from her duty.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from the delegates? Please, before I come and briefly say what he has said, if you people cannot hear from it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Excellency. I wish you all the best in your Congress.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. If you need a brief, I can give you a brief if you are not hearing very well. Yes. He said 4D was nominated a deputy and approved by the EC. But briefly, they could not see 4D. He made so many attempts to no avail. And that he cannot remember certifying 4D as a deputy. If 4D claimed to be certified, then 4D can send the materials. He will go through to confirm. To make it short, he is firm that 4D was nowhere to be seen, and 4D is not certified as a deputy. Is it welfare minister? Yes. So this is from the council. This is why I said it's important we make it here, and all of us know what we have to go home with, so that we put it through. 4D has sent a certificate here, which is we have not seen any signature there. It is cut. It is here. Maybe if you have some more references are still here, please. Everybody can see. Wait, let me finish with this. So if the man is saying if she can produce the material where he signed and endorsed, then he can accept. Of which he said he don't think it is fine. Yeah.
Good afternoon, delegates. My suggestion is, hence this happened in the 12th Executive Council, and we are here. I think we can forge ahead because we don't have time with this. We forge ahead and nominate those that are legible. For this case, we can leave it as pending and we proceed, yeah. Because we don't know. It is something that happened in the 12th Exco, and that was in fact our first year here at the university. So we don't know anything that happens. So if we want to go back to what happened in the 12th Executive Council, it might bring something else, which we don't know. So let's forge ahead.
What I want to suggest is for the IPRO to help us with the photos of the last award night. If my memory can serve me well, I think I saw 40 being awarded a certificate in that night. And bearing on the certificate is the 12th Executive Council. Can we check and see? I can remember vividly. Yes.
Somebody who served in the 12th Executive Council awarded the certificate in the 14th? Yes.
Can we move on, please? All right. Hello. 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 We have wasted a lot of time in this case.
Is nominated here. And then because he's nominated here, Congress delegates need to, go home with tangible information, because we don't need misinformation and disinformation. If we are to inform people, please let us understand this what has happened, and then everybody has seen what have heard and seen what is being said. So until further we are convinced beyond doubts, reasonable doubts, then 40 can be accepted. Okay, her nomination would be accepted. But so long this is how it stands, we cannot do anything about it. I think it's clear. Yes, and then we need proper information. Okay? Yeah. Thank you so very much.
Beyond us, as far as Congress is concerned, because it happens, as Kajito said, why people like me, we were in our first semester, and for the certificate she sent, there's no signature, meaning she has to send something which is full. The reason best. Yeah, because I'm seeing the dean's signature in there, just a cut. But to avoid wasting much time,
Where is my phone, please?
so since we have already exhausted, can we have one forum, please, Mr. Fati? Can we have one forum, please? We are out of time. Good. Since we have already exhausted the nomination of the 2024-2025 advisory boards, the first one is Sayo Jasi, who is nominated by, help me with it, by EDUSA and also seconded by Mbemba Fati. We also have Anna Manga, who is nominated by Lamin M. Cham and seconded by Banna Jaju. We also have Elizabeth. No, Elizabeth is not yet confirmed. It's still pending. Suleiman Baji was nominated by Samba Kamara rather, and been seconded by Eldu Siga. And the last is for which is giving us a complication. We have to move, and the president will take it from there and see what are the possible means, whether it is a complete certificate or not a complete certificate. What later for us not to be certified during those days, we have no idea about. It's something beyond us, and we cannot just go and do whatever we wish to do. So it has to be something which has to be concrete, whether it is a grievance or whatsoever is the case, or whether she was not working, or which is expected from her, it left to them, because their code of conduct is not the same code of conduct which we are using here. So though we are being banned by the same constitution. So for that being the case, these are the following nominated people who have already accepted: Anna Manga, Sayo Jasi, Suleiman Baji, and three. Okay, Peter declined, and one pending for the meantime. Two pending. That is Elizabeth Sambuan also for the who serve in the 12th Executive Council. Thank you.
We still have two pending. That is Elizabeth Sambu and Fodisise. And the Congress here, the Congress delegates should rise to approve the nomination of those who consented. So now we would also want to seek approval from Congress that whereas Elizabeth Sambu and Fodi Sise, where for this case is found to be a member of the 12th Executive Council, whether Congress has given their approval to those two nominations to be approved after this Congress. I don't know if I'm communicating. Yes, what I'm saying is, if Elizabeth Sambo and Fodi were here and consented to their nomination, they would have been approved by Congress here, just like Anamanga and Suleiman Baji and Sajo Jasi has consented. Before we leave, they will be approved by the Congress delegates. Now that these two are pending, we cannot call for another Congress for their approval by Congress because we are not selecting these people, so we cannot approve them. It is Congress that are nominating them, and it is Congress that should approve them. So do we have the permission from Congress that where these two people, they are, Elizabeth is called and she consented to her nomination, and also for the CC's case is found to be that she was a member of the 12th Executive Council. Whether this council can go ahead to nominate them as empowered by this Congress. That is what I'm asking. Yes. Thank you.
Madam Sam, yeah, how are you? Fine, thank you.
Good afternoon. Madam Ili, how are you? You been nominated by the delegates. One, Mr. You have been nominated by Mohamed Fainke to be part of the 2024-2025 advisory boards, and seconded by Seydou M. Jabi. So we decided to call you to seek for your consent whether you have accepted it or not. You have accepted it wholeheartedly. So meaning so far we have 4 people who have already accepted. Two are present here. Or one? Do we have 2 people who are present here? Only one. Okay, mean the 3 are absent. I mean they are in absent here. So far this are the, I mean now the only one which is pending is for the CC. Unfortunately for Peter's case, he has declined it.
Of Honorable Sajo Jasi, Honorable Anna Manga, Honorable Elizabeth Sambu, and Honorable Suleiman Baji as members of the advisory board.
Can we have someone
from the Congress delegates?
My name is Mohamed Mustafa Janj, and then I have accepted and approved the nomination of Elizabeth Sambu, Suleiman Baji, Anna Manga, and then Sajo Jasi as part of the members of the advisory board. Thank you.
Agenda, that is the closing remarks to be given by the president. We want to invite anybody, any Congress delegate to rise and give a Congress statement before the council will give the closing remarks. The Congress statement can be any statement or any advice or a closing remark on behalf of the Congress delegates. Then the president will also give a closing remark on behalf of the council. Can we have one individual?
I want to take this profound time to express my most profound gratitude to the most gracious and the most merciful, and the one that is always ready to bless every single soul. And I want to take this profound time on behalf of the entire delegates who are here present and extend my profound thanks to the current executive who has been constitutionally oriented to call on this Congress today to nominate individuals who will serve as an advisory board, who will part of the organs of the association that will help in putting things in order, that will gear towards us achieving our goals, that will gear towards us achieving the aspiration that all of us rise for. On that statement, I want to further thank each and everyone here, and I further thank the council again, and also further call on each and everyone, all EDUSANs, because this is what EDUSA is all about. So it is significant that when any time that a call is made, all EDUSANs should turn up and grace it together. This is what we have, and this is the thing that other schools admire from us. The more we are collected together, the more we are united together, the more we are powerful, and the more we can do whatever we want to do. And success cannot be achieved individually, but collectively. I remember Obama was saying that unity is not a choice, but it's the only way that we can move, we can do to achieve our goal. So I thank you all, and I pray the Almighty Allah to continue blessing us together. May we achieve our goals as students, as citizens of this nation. Thank you all.
I just want to make some clarifications here regarding the dissolution of the Legislative Council. We've received information that the LC should have been dissolved 2 weeks before Congress, but from our consultation, the LC should be dissolved 2 weeks before the first Congress. And according to the Constitution, this is not the first Congress. This is an extraordinary Congress. Congress in the Constitution is referring to a meeting where a quorum must be met. And according to the Constitution, for a quorum, we need 25 people. So this Congress needs no quorum. Even whereas we had only 5 people from the general students body, we would have conducted this, and any decision that was taken here would hold and would be constitutional. So the Congress, the Constitution is referring to, according to the Legislative Council, after our consultation, is the first Congress. So if you look at the same Constitution, the council should hold 2 congresses. That is the first one and the last Congress where the Electoral Commission would be nominated. And the advisory board should have been dissolved 2 weeks before the extraordinary Congress. That is before this Congress. Because constitutionally, the advisory board is mandated to hear election petitions. This is why it would not have been wise to dissolve the advisory board 2 weeks before elections, because you are deterring them from their constitutional mandate to hear petitions after elections. So that should have been this Congress. That is the extraordinary Congress, not the last Congress. So there is another thing that the Constitution, the same Constitution says the advisory board, the LC, should be dissolved 2 weeks after Congress. That is after this Congress, 2 weeks before the Congress. So now, if we are to dissolve them before this Congress, it will be unconstitutional. If we are to dissolve them after this Congress, meaning we have to hold another Congress that will be the first Congress for the council immediately after this Congress. Now we will be waiting for another Congress, which to us does not make sense. It is a constitutional lapse, because if we hold this extraordinary Congress and next week we call for another Congress just to nominate, to dissolve the advisory board and hold a Congress, what are we going to report at that Congress? And by the Constitution, at a Congress, the clerk of the Legislative Council should give a report of the Legislative Council. So there is no Legislative Council. What report are they going to give? So this is the discussion we had with the Legislative Council, and we think it is necessary that as Congress delegates, we discuss this with you, that the Legislative Council would embark on a constitutional amendment. They will be amending certain clauses in the Constitution, and it is not the responsibility of the Executive Council to amend the Constitution. We cannot have anything to do with the Constitution. Where we feel we are confused or we don't know which action to take, we reach out to the advisory board or to the Legislative Council to help us interpret the Constitution, and we act based on their interpretation. But since there are no advisory board, we went to the Legislative Council and had a meeting with them regarding this portion of the Constitution. And they put to us that it is not this 2 weeks before this Congress that they should be dissolved. It is the first Congress. And if we are to move another first Congress, we will have 2 legislative councils, because this advisory board now will be mandated within 21 days to call for application, selection, and also appointment of the Legislative Council. So we will have a Legislative Council and the previous Legislative Council at the same time. So to avoid that, we agree with them to have this advisory board work on the nomination of the other LC while they work on their amendments. After they work on their amendments, we dissolve them and rectify the clause. They will rectify the clause and they will be dissolved. So the other LC that is coming, if we want to wait until they come and do the amendments based on the recommendation, we don't know what they are coming with, we don't know the interpretations they are coming with, and we don't know whether they would be having the ample time to revise and review all this. So this is why at our agreement, we agree that we allow them within a week while the advisory board is working on the on the appointment of the next LC. We dissolve them after they do the amendment. So these were the things that we agree. It is not it is not our fault, it is not their fault. It is the constitution that is put that way. In 2021, if you cannot recall, the constitution was sent to all the EDUSA pages for Congress review. It is at that stage where these lapses could have been pointed out and they adjust them during the review. But once it was reviewed, the constitution cannot be reviewed again for the next 2 years. So this is why even these lapses were identified, but they were not touched because the constitution could not be reviewed after that revision for the next 2 years. It can be amended. And Honorable Ali Cham in the first LC sent a bill to amend these clauses, but he could not meet the requirement. The requirement is that there should be 25 students from all levels, meaning at least 100 students should sign that particular provision to be amended. He could not meet that, and the clause was not changed. So we are giving this opportunity to the LC to also get to the Congress, to the general student body, to see if they can amend this. And also in the next council, this problem now would be solved. So that is the clarification I want to make on behalf of the council. And that was the agreement we had with the Legislative Council. And this was the reason why they were not dissolved 2 weeks before Congress, because they told us Congress is referring to the first Congress, not the extraordinary Congress. So thank you so much. I will hand over the mic to the president to give the closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Honorable Vice President Seka Ibrahima. Hey, Seka. It's a pleasure having you here, and then you have been doing so much great. And of course, your speeches were very, very, very eloquent and straightforward, very communicative. And of course, I understand the Congress delegates has enjoy your expressions and deliberations. Beside me, from the left is the constitutional custodian. Yeah, Sanu, he has the constitution on his pillow. Every day he reads it because we understand that it is not our mandate to interpret the constitution, but it is also our mandate to read and know what the constitution says. And he said where there is confusion, we have to go back to the advisory board and the legislative council, who will be responsible of doing whatsoever is for the common interest of the students. Yeah, and then I want to repeat to emphasize that the constitution and its custodians belongs to the advisory board and the legislative council. When we want to act and we are confused about a matter, we put it to them, they work on it. And of course, in cases like the Congress, then everybody's opinion is soft and decisions are made collectively, inshallah. Good. Now, coming back to the closing remarks, I would get back again to say my recognition of the high table here, the VP and Honorable Shanu, council members here, are present, former council members who are also here present, and then to you, the most important people in this Congress. That's you, the Congress delegates. I am saying we appreciate you coming, and then we appreciate your inputs. We appreciate your ideas. We appreciate your recommendations and suggestions. We appreciate your contributions, and above all, your intellects and the high sense of leadership dynamism. This is what is expected from EDUSANS, which is of course believed to be the home of intellects when it comes to the University of the Gambia. I am very, very much impressed that no Congress delegate has shown a color that is not that of the wish of EDUSA. Everybody applied the best of their intellect to ensure whatever they give is constructive, reasonable, and of course something sustainable and something to be do with. So it is you. I always repeat, it is all about you. And that nobody will make EDUSA great if not us. So, Mr. Keguda, I always want to say, you are with us. He is always with us. Even when we want to go to the graveyard, Keguda is prepared to go with us. Yes. But I'm only afraid that if you not push him inside first. He will not enter. No, he will enter. Maybe he will not want to enter first, but so long we are inside, I am confident he will. He will be there. Indeed. Indeed. I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful, and I want to say thank you, Fine TV, for being there for us. Thank you, Congress delegates. Thank you, former council members. Thank you, current council members. Of which to me, you are the least important because of the power of the Congress delegates. So power to the so power to the people. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.